Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube video. I am Nishita and today we are going to solve another problem which was asked in Google. Let's see what the problem is. So the name of the problem is find the number of meeting rooms. So let's see what the problem is all about. Let's imagine you are given an array of meeting time intervals. Okay, this is the array by the name intervals, and each with a start and end time. So this 2D array contains two numbers, and the first one is the starting time and the second one is the ending time of the meeting. Okay, the second one is the end time of the meeting. So this is the array that is being given to us. We need to find the minimum number of conference rooms required to do these meetings so that no other meeting can overlap in the same room. Okay, let's understand with an example. First of all, this is the array and this is the starting time and this is the ending time. This is the starting time, this is the ending time. Let's see. First of all, we are gonna need one room initially to do this meeting, which will start at 0 and end at 30. Okay. Next, let's see, the meeting starts at 5 and end at 10. Is the meeting time of this room, this meeting, overlaps with this? Yes, right? So we are gonna need another room for this. We're gonna need two rooms to do these two meetings. Let's see the third one. Is another room required for this meeting? The meeting will start at 15 and the meeting just before it, or we can see the other meetings, one of the meeting is gonna end at 10. So the room in which this meeting will be holding, the room will be empty, right? After the 10 seconds or minutes, whatever you want to take it. So we can do this particular meeting in the room, in the second room, right? So only two rooms will be required to do this meeting. I hope you understood the question. So we need to return minimum number of rooms required to do the meetings. Okay. Let's see another example. So the first one is 7 and 10 and the second one is 2 and 4. First of all, we are gonna do this meeting, which is at 2 and 4, because the meeting is gonna start at 2. So this meeting will be there, and after that the meeting will end at 4, right? The meeting will end at 4 and the another meeting is starting at 7. So the room which is required to do the first meeting, we can use the same room for doing the second meeting, right? Because the meeting starts at 7. The room will be empty after 4 minutes. So the output will be 1. This is the question. Now let's discuss the approach before moving on to the solution part, before moving on to writing the code. So to solve this problem efficiently, we need to sort the meeting by their starting time, right? Because you can see in the second example, the meeting is given in the wrong order. First of all, the meeting which starts at 2 minutes will be done at first, right? So we need to sort the array according to the starting time. Next, we are going to use a minimum heap, or you can say priority queue, to track the meeting end times. Why do we need to track the end times of the meeting? Because we need to see which meeting is going to end at what time so that we can use that particular room for another meeting, right? If the timing doesn't overlap, we can use the room, right? So we need to store the end time of the meeting, and for that we are going to use the priority queue. After that, we need to iterate throughout the sorted meetings, right? And remove the meetings from the heap when they end, right? When this meeting ends, we are storing the meetings in the, let's say the output is answer. We have taken, I'm sorry, don't mind my writing. Let's say we have taken a variable answer, and in this we are storing the number of rooms required. Initially, we will require one room for doing one meeting, right? And after that, we are tracking what's the end time of the meeting. If the meeting ends, the 2-4 meeting is ending after the 4 minutes, we're going to remove this from the from our priority queue. Okay, so we need to iterate through the array, through the priority queue, and we also need to remove the meeting times after the meeting ends. Okay, and after that, in the end, we need to return the maximum number of priority queue size required. Uh, that will be our answer. right? So let's move on to the solution part. Now let's move on to the writing the code. Don't worry if you don't get the approach in the first go. I'm gonna write the code and I'm gonna dry run the code. Okay. So when I will dry run it, you will understand the approach we are using. Okay. So don't worry about it. First of all, we are gonna write a condition. Let's see what condition we are writing. We are writing an if condition in which we are checking the initial array which is given to us. What's the length of the array? If it's equal to 0, we are going to simply return 0, because if the array which contains the meeting times, if no such meeting exists, if the length of the array is 0, we do not require any room to do the meeting, right? So we will simply return 0. This is the base condition. The condition is based on if we have if we do not have any length, if the array is empty. Okay. Next, we are gonna sort the array. As I already told you in the approach earlier, we need to sort the array on the basis of the starting time, right? So we are sorting the array, and we are using these a0 b0. These are called comparators in Java. So these comparators are used to sort the array according to the conditions. Okay, according to thing that we require in our solution. So this is going to sort the array on the basis of the starting time. How is it doing that? So if the a0 is smaller than b0, it is simply going to return a true, which means a0 should be less than b0. If a0 is greater than b0, it's gonna swap the values. Okay, a0 and b0, and it will always return the smaller value first. So on the basis of it, it is gonna sort the array according to the starting time, 0 5 15. And here in the second example, you can see the array is not sorted. So these comparators will sort this array, and they will simply return, 2 4 first and then 7 10. Okay, so we are sorting the arrays on the basis of the starting time. Next, we are going to initialize a priority queue. We are initializing a priority queue by the name and time. This is the name of our queue. Why we need to have this priority queue? Because in this priority queue, we are gonna add the end time of the array. This priority queue will hold the end time of the meetings. Okay. Let's see what we are doing next. So we are adding at least one meeting end time in the array. Okay, we are adding the very first meeting time. The after the array is being sorted, it is gonna add the end time, which is on the first. Okay, so let's see. Let's take this example. The example is already sorted, right? It will get into this condition, and it will sort the array according to the starting time. So the array is all sorted, 0 5 and 15, right? Next, we have initialized a priority queue, and then we have wrote this line, end time dot add. It is adding what? It is adding 30 to it, only the value 30. Okay, because we need priority queue to add only the end times of the meeting. So it is gonna add 30, this line. So the 30 is being added. Value 30 is added to the queue. Okay, I'm taking the first example only. Okay, after that, we have initialized a variable answer, which is of the type end, and it is initialized to 1. Why the value 1 is there? Because the variable is for determining the number of rooms required to do the meeting. Okay, it is going to store our answer, the minimum number of rooms required to do the meeting, and we have initialized it to 1. Why we have initialized it to 1? Because at least we are going to need one room. If the array is not empty, at least we need one room to do the meeting. Doesn't matter how many meetings are there, and doesn't matter how many meetings are overlapping or not. At least we are going to require one room, right? That's why we have initialized it to 1. Okay. Next, let's see what we are doing. We are writing a for loop. So next we are going to write a for loop. We have written a for loop here. Let's see what the loop is doing. First of all, we are iterating through the array. We are iterating through the array, okay? And then in this for loop, we have written a condition while. We are checking if the end time is empty and there is a not here. It means the end time, the priority queue should not be empty. It means some meetings should be there in the priority queue and our intervals I0. It simply means that our pointer should be at the ith position, okay? And it should be greater than or equal to the end time peak. Okay, now let's see what we are doing. The for loop is starting from ith position 1. Why is it starting from ith position 1? Because the initial position, the end time is already being added to the priority queue, right? We have already added it by this line. So we are starting the loop from this position. 510. Okay, now our ith pointer is at this position and it is checking, is the priority queue empty? No, it is not, and the interval is at ith position and it should be greater than the end time which is already in the heap. So is 10 greater than the end time of the 30? No. What does it mean by the time should be greater than the end time? It simply means if the meeting which is already in the priority queue, is the meeting ended or not? We are simply checking if the meeting is ended, we need to remove the meeting from the heap, right? If the meeting is ended, we need to remove the meeting from the heap. Okay? So this condition, this while loop is checking that. Okay? After that, we are adding the intervals I10. If the while condition is not true, if the meeting time here we can see 10 is not greater than 30, it means the meeting 510 will run with this meeting, right? So we are going to require another room to do this meeting, which is at 510. Okay. So what we are doing? We are doing the same thing next. We are checking what's the maximum value, either the value which is in end time or the value which is in the answer, right? And we are adding that value to the answer. Okay. So this is what we are doing. We are increasing our answer and we are adding the value to the end time. If this is not greater than 30, means the meeting will be done. So the end time of the meeting will be added. Here we are adding the interval which is at the ith position. We have this 10 at ith position, right? So this is being added to our priority queue, and also we are increasing the answer because we are going to need another room to do the meeting 510. Okay, now it will go to the ith pointer will increase by 1. It will go to this value 20 and it is gonna check whether this 20, whatever the value which is at the top of the priority queue, whether the last ending point which is at the ith position is greater than that value or not. What will be the value that will be at the top of priority queue? This 10. It will be at the top of the priority queue. Okay, let me tell you. First of all, it is gonna add 30 to it. Then it is gonna add 10 to it, right? It has added 30, the initial value from this line we have seen here. Then after running the while loop, because the condition satisfies, no, the condition doesn't satisfy. The array isn't empty, right? And the interval is not a greater than the value which is already there in the priority queue. So the value 10 is not greater than 30. What we have done, we have added the value which is at the ith position in our priority queue. So we have added 10 in our priority queue. After that, we are increasing the answer. So initially our answer was 1, right? Then it has become 2 because we have added the increased the answer. Okay. Next, our for loop is going to run again. The ith value will go to 20. Okay. Again, it will enter into this while loop and check the condition. Is the array empty? Is the priority queue empty? No, it is not empty. The not is here, right? It shouldn't be empty. And the interval which is at ith position, is it greater than the topmost value of the priority queue? 10 will be at the topmost value of the priority queue, because we are the priority queue will also sort the array on the basis of the end time, okay, and it will be in the ascending order. So is 10 at the top of the priority queue? Yes. Is 20, because our ith position is at 20, is 20 greater than 10? Yes, the condition satisfies. So what the priority queue is going to do, it is going to pop the value, it is going to remove the value which is completing. So it is going to remove 10, because this is the meeting that is going to complete. So it will remove 10, and then it will add the position which is at the ith position. It is going to add the time which is at the ith position. So on the ith position 20 was there, so it is going to add 20 to its priority queue, right? Also it is going to increase the answer. No, it is not increasing the answer. It is checking whether the answer on the or the priority queue size is equal or not. So our answer was 2, right? And the priority queue size is also 2, right? And it is going to return the max of it. So what's the max? Both the values are same. So it is going to return 2, right? And after that, our loop will be ended, because it reaches the length of the intervals array, right? Our loop reaches the length of the interval array. So the loop is going to end. And in the end, we are going to return the answer, because the answer contains the maximum number of rooms required to do the meeting. So we will return the answer in the end, right? And it will have our answer. The answer variable will have our answer. Let's see it with the second example. Let's see, let's try to dry run the code. If you don't get it in the first time, let's try to run it again. Okay. So what we are doing, first of all, we are checking our base condition, right? Then we are sorting the array according to the starting time, right? By this condition, by using the comparators. Next, we have initialized the priority queue. Then we have added at least one value in our priority queue. So what we have done, we will go to this array, and we have added one value to the priority queue. So it will add the value 4 to it. This value 4 is being added to the priority queue. The value 4 is added. Okay, it has only one value, the end time of the first meeting. And we have initialized a variable answer, which will contain all the rooms required to do the meeting. And it is initialized to 1. Why? Because at least one room is required to do the meeting. Then we are entering the for loop, which is starting from 1, which means it will start from this position, because one value is already added, right, by this line. So the loop is running. We are checking the condition while the array is not empty. The array is not empty. It contains one value 4. And the interval which is at the ith position should be greater than the end time. So at the ith position, we have 10. Is 10 greater than the 4, the value we already have in our priority queue? Yes, the condition satisfies. The while condition satisfies, it is going to remove the element which is at the peak, means which is at the top of the priority queue. So what's the element that is at the top of the priority queue? It's 4. It is going to remove 4, right? The loop ends here, while loop ends here, and then it is gonna add the value which is at the ith position. So what the value it's gonna add? It is gonna add 10. The 10 will be there in the priority queue, because 10 was at the ith position, right? Our pointer was there. Then it is gonna check the answer. It is gonna compare the answer and the priority queue's size, right? And it is gonna return the max of both the values. So our priority queue size was 1, because only one value 4 was there, right? And the answer also has only one value, because it is increased here, right? Sorry, the answer is increased here. So answer also contains one value. So it is gonna return the max of it, which is 1, right? And in the end, we are returning the answer. So our answer is 1, which is correct. We can also see the meeting which starts at 2 and ends at 4. The meeting will end at 4, and the next meeting is starting from 7, right? So this room will be empty after the 4 minutes. So we can do the next meeting in the same room, right? So the answer is correct. Let's see if our code is correct or not. I've run the code. We got 3 errors. This is the while loop is starting here, ending here. Let me check. Let me check the answer. What's the problem? Okay, now let's try to run the code. It is run. Let's see the console. Yes, the outputs are correct, right? It is giving us correct outputs. So this is our problem, and I hope you understood the solution of the problem. Let's meet in next video with another problem and another solution. Till then, take care. Bye.